So let's get right to it. We have a lot of questions here from people who are asking for guidance, wisdom, and help. And let's see what we can do. You want to read it?
Yes, this is from Ellen. I initiated a divorce 6 months ago because I was completely gave up ever being able to talk to my husband about anything whatsoever without him pushing me away, telling me that whatever I was feeling, thinking, experiencing had nothing to do with him. It was all about me and my trauma. There was simply no way to communicate. Since then, surprise, he has been the kindest, sweetest man anyone could ever ask for. I am completely torn as to what to do. Give him another chance, use this opening on his part to do the huge amount of couples therapy that I feel we're going to need in order to make whatever way may be coming forward for us to work on. Say that he's just being manipulative and keep moving towards the divorce. This is awful.
Hmm. You want it? You want me to take it?
Do you think that this is a distancer, avoider dynamic? I'm just curious. Is it that he's can be more open because she's not breathing down his neck? Or is this more about characterological issues that we don't yet know about?
My diagnosis for the husband is that he's a man. And I have a saying, men can be relational if they've got a gun to their heads. And this woman, who, at least her experience, and we haven't heard from him, but her experience was so thoroughly that she couldn't get through to him, that he would discount and dismiss everything she said, that she was ready to leave. On the verge of losing her, he seems to have woken up, and he is listening to her. Yeah.
So I wonder if he's waking up because she filed for divorce and he feels like he's going to be free of the shackles of this relationship. And so he can be more self.
Well, we have different fantasies about that.
So we don't know because she didn't say, when I filed for divorce, he asked me not to or to wait, or we don't know what happened.
Yeah. I mean, she files for divorce and she says, since then, he's become the kindest, sweetest man in the world. You have a theory that her filing for divorce, he's really a love avoidant, that her filing for divorce gave him the space of her not breathing down his neck, and he came forward to be kind. I have a theory that she finally hit him over the head and he woke up and started listening to her. So I don't know which of those.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, because I sense that he senses freedom. And so, I mean, he is avoidant, but that he's going to be free from being made wrong in all the ways that has been happening.
Well, it would be interesting to see them, you and I. We could
do a joint couple therapy session.
we each see two different couples. In any case, the issue is he's listening now, either because he feels like he has space or because of the threat of the loss of her. He's woken up. I would definitely say that some couples therapy and teach him how to listen. Most people don't listen. You know that from me. I've had to learn how to listen.
For 40 years.
I'm listening now as you say that. Here's what I say. Tell me what you think of this.
All right.
When faced with a disgruntled partner, I just was doing this with somebody yesterday. Most of us have two reference points. The first reference point is quote unquote accuracy, objective reality. This is real. That's not real. You're exaggerating. That's full of shit. You got me all wrong. So we're like rebutting in our heads, if not our mouths. We're not listening. And then the second reference point, if we're honest, is us. I can't believe I have to listen to this crap again. And what I teach people in general, and men in particular, is to trade in those two reference points for this one: compassionate curiosity about your partner's subjective experience. It's not about you, it's not about what's real, it's about them and their experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it sounds simply like this: honey, I'm sorry you feel bad. I don't want you to feel bad. Tell me more about what this is like. That's simple. And people in general, and I think men in particular, need to be taught how to redirect their reference in this new relational way. What your husband did to you is what men do in heterosexual relationships across the board. And Belinda thinks that you're filing for divorce freed him up to have some space to come to you. I think it woke him up to shape up in the face of your loss. In either case, uh, yes, it's time for you to put down your sword, accept the progress, but drag him into couples therapy where somebody can help both of you with these new relational skills.
And what we're not seeing, because I just had this couple yesterday, where the woman's complaint is he doesn't hear me. He keeps creating the same cycle of mistakes. And she's so escalated in her speaking of this that nobody could hear.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody could hear her.
Yeah.
And that he has to change in this couple I met yesterday. She's right. But if she keeps the volume and the intensity and the negativity that she leads with towards him, there's no way he's going to come towards her and change.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important in this instance to have couples therapy, not just because it's going to help the two of them, but so that the therapist can really watch the dynamic. Are you still using the terms blatant and latent?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because in her reporting, she sounded reasonable, but we don't know what it looks like when she is in it with him. And it might look like she's the blatant, he's the latent, but that if she doesn't stop, and your interventions are to find a way to intervene on the blatant long enough so you can look at the latent's issues. So I would think I make up that could be this dynamic.
Okay, got it. I mean, again, very classic for heterosexual parent. I have a saying: an angry woman is a woman who doesn't feel heard.
Yes.
And Harville Hendricks talks about minimizers, maximizers, and a lot of women get into what we call in family therapy more of the same wrong solution. Can you hear me now? Well, what about now? Well, what about
Yes.
now? And they turn up the volume, and then the men discount what they're saying because it's so exaggerated and maybe even
Mean. It
yeah,
could be mean, exaggerated.
yeah,
It could be with words always and never. There is nothing credible that the partner does that is in the conversation about making a request. It's all about wrong, wrong, wrong.
yeah. So the dissatisfied one needs to learn how to speak with love, which is a skill we teach and rare in this culture. And the recipient has to, and this is hard, do your best to ignore the rotten delivery and pay attention to what the person's actually trying to say. But a couples therapist will help you do
I know that you really started listening to me when I stopped my rotten delivery and that you could hear me and began the willingness to change because you thought what I was saying had accuracy. It was the delivery that made it impossible, I make up, for you to get on board with working with me.
that.
And that
Yeah.
I had to change my delivery first, even though it was hard, to invite you in to do some work to make our relationship better.
I think that's right. I mean, I just, um, right or wrong, like so many, I reacted to the exaggerations and to the negativity uh, rather than picking out the kernels that were actually true.
Mm-hmm.
And when I work with couples, I ask the listener to be more mature than I was. But it's a lot better if the speaker comes down off their high horse.
And they're not character assassinating the
Yeah.
other.
All right. There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
So stay with the guy and bring him to couples therapy and uh, dare to take yes for an answer. This looks like it's real. All right. This is from Christina. How can I stay in my adult self when interacting with my parents? Friend who still infantilize me. I'm 31. I got to tell the story.
You tell the story.
Young therapist, Terry Real, 27, in social work school, trying to straighten out my family. I'm on the phone with my mom, God bless her. And here's the dialogue Terry to mom, infantilize. It means deliberately keeping a child in a childlike position, no matter what their age. Mom's response, I don't know what you mean, pussycat.
Yes, both of us come from that our parents did not want us to grow up, did not want us to find a secure relationship, and continued into our adult life to still behave in ways that stimulated that which we were pushing against, and our behavior still demonstrated that. And if you bring that quality into a relationship, it's not going to work.
So the trick, I think, if I may, is to grow up despite them.
Right.
And don't try and get them to change. I love my story. Good luck. You have to grow up whether they call you pussycat or not. And there's a great family therapy book called The Situation is Hopeless But Not Serious. Um, you may need to give your mom a hug or your dad a hug and say, thanks, I know you love me, and what would you like for lunch? But step out of the struggle with them.
And I want to normalize this. People coming from families that haven't grown up the family or done any work to bring them to the present situation, and I want to say all children in those families, when they get home, lose their functional adult until it's really solidified in their system. It's not unusual because people get lonely in their family when they're the only ones that are being adult. So they've joined their family in their adolescence or in their childhood. And it works then, but it leaves you feeling not well.
I'm going to mash this, but Baba Ramdas, the great spiritual teacher, said something like, if you're wondering if somebody's enlightened or not, uh, observe them on a family visit. Mom, I can't believe you said that. All right.
Yeah.
Good
Thank
luck.
you, Christina.
Let's go on. You want to take this one?
This is Christian, right?
Yeah.
My wife and I have been married for 20 years. I never felt physically attracted.
Oh, boy.
Our marriage is surface level. Is it too late to leave? Interesting. He says, is it too late to fix it? But he's asking, I think I made a mistake
Yeah.
and didn't pay attention to all the data and tried to make it work.
Yeah.
And that he's seeing it's not working. I'm imagining they have no sexual life or any physical life. And to have that not be a part of your intimate relationship, when in fact both people are healthy and can have that, is big issue.
It's a really big issue. And the question is, why weren't you physically attracted? And why did you go ahead and marry even though you weren't physically attracted? Um, I don't know how you feel, but as a couples therapist, it's a lot easier to detoxify a kind of closeness that's dysfunctional and teach people how to make it functional than it is to create closeness when there wasn't any to begin with. So if you never loved your partner,
That might not be true. He might love her,
well,
but he's not attracted to her.
okay.
And maybe that's why he married her.
Well, if you never loved her, and or if you were never attracted to her, first of all, my guess is you've hidden it. Um, it's time to come clean about it. And then you might want to do some thinking about talking to somebody, preferably with your partner, preferably somebody who's got some training in sex therapy, and see why you haven't been physically attracted and if there's anything you can do about it. If there's nothing you can do about it, uh, what would you say?
Well, this is such a sensitive issue. I mean, we don't know what the wife looks like. We don't know if there's something really blatant that would maybe turn everybody off. But if there is a dilemma and it's real and it's about physical appearance, I would want this guy to get some individual therapy with a relational therapist to learn how to be able to say this in a way that it will always hurt, but it doesn't have to create trauma.
I think that's great. And also, your wife deserves to have a husband who is attracted to her. And that has to be put on the table too. What does she think about all this? And what does she want?
And are there kids?
But she may well not want to be with somebody who doesn't really want to be with her. So I don't think you're doing anybody any favors by keeping this in the closet. I think it has to be addressed. But I'm with you 100%. You went right to, I've never been physically attracted, like that's immovable. So should I leave? Why don't you first go dig into the roots of why you haven't been physically attracted and see if there's anything you can do about it?
And I would bring a picture of her I would find an RLT therapist who systemically thinks about these things and begin by bringing a picture so that the therapist can see who this person is. And then do that work with a picture in a chair and find out what's causing him not to be attractive.
You'd like them to rehearse a bit before.
But then he really needs to rehearse this. This is a big problem. A lot of people, you hear a lot of partners saying this. It is a problem. But what becomes the bigger problem is how it's conveyed. And you can really hurt someone deeply if this isn't said with kindness.
Yeah, I agree. So talk to somebody before you assume that this is immutable, and get a trained coach to help you figure out how to say it in a way that won't be devastating.
And just to attend to your last statement, is it too late to leave? No. No. I mean, I don't know how old you are. I don't know how old she is. I don't know if there are children. I don't know what you look like. Um, so there's a lot to be known. But it's never too late to leave if you are feeling crushed by the problems that exist in your marriage and or that you're denying both of you the right to a healthy sexual relationship.
Right. The issue is, are you doing her any favors by saying, which you haven't asked because you haven't been honest about how you're really feeling. So get help for you and get help for both of you. This is a tough one. One more?
Yeah. And then I'm going to have to stop.
Okay. Another sex. Uh, shall I?
Mm-hmm.
Just how important is sex? I want to co-create a joyous, physically intimate connection inspired by pleasure, and my partner keeps telling me sex is lust, and it just doesn't matter. Lots of relationships he admires are no sex. He doesn't initiate and won't fully explain his sexual blocks, except to say he has them, and I need to accept him as he is. I am frustrated and tired of being the only one with sexual energy or interest. Time to finally give up after 2 years. We did a year of EFT, emotionally focused therapy, but sex actually decreased. Sorry, Sue. Uh, yeah, okay. So 2 years with this, and what should she do? Take it away, B.
Mm. I would like to ask her what was it about the therapy that they were receiving that made the problem, in her opinion, worse, and to make certain that doesn't happen again. And this is a relationship dynamic. It has to be worked on together, and it has to be so much explored to find out each of their sexual histories, find out where each of their sexual desire is, if this is just in this relationship, or do they get sexually charged being in other relationships, out in the world. So I'm one to believe that at all stages of life, there's ways of being intimate that are sexual, but don't possibly have intercourse. And so there's a lot to find out. How old are the two of you? How long have you been together? Did anything happen? I mean, there's so much to find out. It's too hard to give suggestions about what might work until more has been found out. Take it away, Terry.
You're going to love this. Ready? I think you should leave. You've given this guy if what you're saying is
They've
true.
been married for 25 years.
I don't care. If what you're saying is true, just taking it at face value, you are saying that your guy is saying, just accept it as it is. I have no motivation to change. You say you've tried for 2 years to deal with him and deal with this issue, and you got less sexual, not more sexual. Maybe you're exaggerating what he's saying, and there's more give. It's not that black and white. But if this character is saying, I don't care, I don't need sex, well, that's one of you. But I absolutely support your right to have a vibrant sexual relationship. And if the guy you're with doesn't care, well, fine. But you've given him 2 years, and go be asexual with somebody else. They're not interested. Yeah, what do you want to say?
Oh my God. I can't say that until I would find out how old they are, how long they've been married, if there's any sexual dysfunction. And so one or the other of them do not want to have sex or sex a certain way. I couldn't offer a suggestion to end until I got more.
Uh, well, my whole saying that hinges on her report that I call it the Popeye defense. I am what I am. It's like, I'm not interested in sex, so live with it. And if that's really what he's saying, then all of these questions are moot because he doesn't care that much to work on it. Look, anything can be worked on if both of you agree to work on it.
You have to be in the same place that you want a similar goal.
Right. If one of you is fine with something as missing as a vibrant sex life, I support the one who isn't fine with it and move on. So,
And not just, go deeper. EFT is a wonderful form of therapy, but sometimes it stays a little bit on the surface. And that might be the case that happened to you, Ellery. So I continue with believing that more needs to be needs to be known before I would make a recommendation.
All right. This was a lot of fun. I love doing this with you. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody
everybody,
who
and we'll
wrote
see you
in.
again.
Yeah, we'd love your comments. So let us know what you think. And stay tuned to this channel for more. And please, your questions are wonderful. Our heart goes out to everybody who speaks, everybody who's spoken today. We hope we've been compassionate and respectful to you. And bring us your questions for future episodes. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.